Hi there, my name is Fiona and today I'm going to be sharing my yin practice with you. If you'd like to press the pause button and run and get some props, then what I'll be using is a cushion, a pillow from my bed, and I've got 2 yoga blocks here, but if you don't have any of them around the house, then feel free to use a thick book or a couple of books stacked, whatever you want. And if you want to grab yourself some nice relaxing tunes that you can play in the background while you marinate in your poses, then feel free to do so too. So if you want to come to a nice comfortable seated position that's just nice and comfortable for you, and just placing your hands on your thighs. I don't know about you, but as a day job I'm pretty sedentary, and then even when I'm out I may be out in the car, again sitting down, or some of you may be on a bike, again sitting down. So I find myself quite often in this sort of posture, tippy typing away. So today's practice, we're just going to try and open up the chest and maybe just have a wee look at trying to open up the hips ever so slightly and just feel a nice stretch along the back too. So just taking yourself to a nice, comfortable place. Rest in the eyes. And just relaxing the breath. And then we just want to take the right ear towards the right shoulder. Ever so gently, keeping both shoulders down. And if you want, you can take that right hand just to the top of the head. And don't force it, but just gently encourage a little extra stretch. And then just bringing the hands to the other side, just gently taking head back to centre. And bringing that right hand down, and now taking the left hand and maybe just encouraging the left ear towards the left shoulder. Bringing the hand down by the side of the cheek, side of the head, and just bringing it back to centre. And just bringing both hands. And we're just going to do a couple of rounds of seated cat-cow. So we're just going to stick the bum out at the back, just as if you were doing normal cat-cow, lifting through the chest. And just gently lifting the chin towards the sky. Exhaling, tucking the tailbone under, rounding the spine, drawing the shoulders forward, tucking the chin towards the chest. And just go with your breath. 3, exhaling, rounding in. 4. Inhaling, pushing that bottom away, lifting the chest, lifting the chin. Exhaling, tucking the tailbone under. And last one, pushing the bottom out at the back and lifting through the chest. And just coming back to a nice long neutral spine. Taking the hands wide up, clasping them at the top and just pushing away. And then just bringing them towards the back of the head. Just resting at the bottom of your head, at the bottom of the skull. And then just gently taking the head back, keeping the elbows wide. Inhaling. Just imagine you're lying on a beach and the sun's just, lovely. And on the next exhale, draw the chin towards the chest. Keeping the spine long and just drawing the elbows towards each other as you do. Exhaling, coming back to center. Releasing the hands, and this time bringing them wide and down. Just clasping behind the back at the bottom and just pushing down towards the ground, lifting through the chest. And as you exhale, just let go, bringing the hands onto the thighs or wherever's comfortable. And you can close your eyes or lower your eye gaze. And just notice how your head feels sitting on your shoulders, sitting on your neck. And just start to count the inhale in for 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. Then exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold that exhale for 1, and inhale 2, 3, 4, and hold for 1, exhale 2, 3, 4, and hold. Inhaling, hold, exhaling, hold, inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold, exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. And just coming back to the natural rhythm of your breath. Today's practice will apply the 3 yoga principles. We'll find our edge, our sweet spot between comfort and discomfort. We'll become still in the body, no fidgeting, in the breath, and in the mind. And then we'll apply time. For when we hold for time, that's when the magic happens. On your next exhale, just gently blink the eyes open. Please do remember to practice mindfully and safely. I will guide you as much as I can, and at any time you can come into a Shavasana or a child's pose. So let's get into our first posture. And we're going to start with Sphinx pose, one of my favourites. So you can use a pillow for Sphinx and maybe your block. And what we're going to do is we're just going to come and lie in our front. So you can take your pillow and you can put it underneath your hips if that's comfortable for you. Or you can take it, maybe give it a little roll, almost into like a bolster. If you've got a bolster, then feel free to use one. And just bring you really want to bring the top of the pillow just at the top of your rib cage. And it just gives you, if you think of the Sphinx in Egypt, it just gives you that little support to just keep you a bit more upright. But you don't have to use anything at all. You can do without. So as I say, coming down like Sphinx, and in our sort of yang posture, we have our elbows below our shoulders, but we don't really want to engage any muscles. So you just want to move the elbow forward ever so slightly, and you want to just be leaning on the elbows more than anything else, not engaging any of the muscles here. Tops of the feet flat on the mat. And if that's just a little bit too much on your lower lumbar, then just take your hand to opposite elbow and rest the head. But if here's nice and comfortable for you, what you might want to do is just take a block and relax the head, whatever height is suitable for you. So it's good to relax, and sometimes it's quite difficult to relax here. So let's all tense together. So just clenching the buttocks, squeezing the thighs and the calves, really pulling the shoulders, making a fist, squeezing the eyes, the lips, and just taking a big inhale through the nose. And as you exhale through the mouth, just let it all go. And do you notice that in your lower lumbar? So if you need to make any adjustments, please do. And if not, just take yourself into your shape. Relaxing the shoulders. And just notice if any tension has crept in. Let those hips melt into the mat. And you can stay here. If you want a little extra, you can maybe bring your feet towards the ceiling. But if that's just a little bit much, just keep your legs down. Alternatively, keeping the legs down, you can take each hand just facing towards the corner of your mat and just push up into your hands into seal pose. Keeping the arms super straight, almost hyperextending. And take a big inhale through the nose. Exhaling and letting go. And if it's a little bit much, you can take your legs a little bit wider. Or if you want a little bit more juice, just bring the hands back. But if you do, just take another big inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Resting the head. One more lovely long inhale. And slowly as you exhale, if you're on your hands, just come onto your elbows. And if you're on your elbows, just gently take opposite hand to opposite elbow in front of you. And just take your head to one side. And very gently and very carefully just tuck the tailbone under really slow. Oh, feel that? Nice, huh? Exhale to let go. And then inhale and send the breath right into the belly. And notice when it expands how it feels in the lower back. And just take your head to the opposite side for a moment. And then when you're ready, just take your hands underneath your shoulders and tuck the toes under. And just come up onto your hands and knees. And then take the knees just mat width apart, keeping the toes tucked under. And just push the butt towards the heels, just like a nice child's pose. If you'd like to put a pillow just behind your butt, just to rest on your heels, feel free to do so. And just come here along. Resting the head on the mat. And giving your toes a nice stretch, as well as your spine, a nice opportunity to just get in a little extra space in between each vertebrae. One more big inhale. Feeling the back expand as the lungs fill. And as you exhale, just walk your hands back ever so slightly. Come onto all fours. Knees hip width apart. And then just place the top of one foot down, then the other. And you maybe want to just do a little tippy tap after that nice toe stretch. Oh, always a good one. So let's just come and lie back down on our bellies, nice and long on the mat. And we just want to take our arms nice and wide, like in a capital T, and pick a side, any side, because we're doing both anyway. But just take one hand underneath the shoulder. I've got my left hand just below my left shoulder. My right hand, palm facing down, is just still long. And all I'm going to do is push into that left hand and roll my right hand along the floor. And just come onto my side. If you want, you can put a cushion just underneath your head. I'm just going to rest my head on my hand just now. If that's a little bit too much, you can tuck your knees in towards your chest. And just keep bringing the knees higher and higher towards the chest. If being here is good for you, then that's fine. And if you want a little extra, you can take that top leg and just place it on the floor behind the knee. And then relax. It's so easy for tension to creep in. One last long inhale. And as you exhale, just take the legs along and take that body roll very slowly back to centre. And just take your hands down by your side, palm facing up. And just take your head to one side for a moment. Then we're just going to do the opposite side, so taking the arms long again into a capital T shape. And then just take the opposite hand this time to underneath the shoulder and just use that to just push the long arm along the floor, along the mat. And again, you can rest your head on a pillow, in your hand, whatever's good for you, or just on the mat. And just find your shape. And that may be to bring the legs in on this side as opposed to the last side. We're all different on each side, so just take your shape. There's no alignment here. It's all about the feel. And just taking the time to let go. Letting any tension disperse with every exhalation. And then just gently bringing any legs back to straight. Any bent legs, that is. And then just let yourself roll back over to your centre line. Really slowly and carefully and gently. And then this time bringing the hands by your side, palms facing the ceiling. And just take your head to the opposite side. And then just bring your head back to centre and hands again underneath the shoulders and just pushing back. Just come up to seated, just sitting on your knees. And knees ideally about, well, start at hip width apart, and you may want to just take them a little wider. Just going to do a little mini saddle stretch. So just taking the hands back, maybe a hand and a half length from your hips, from your butt. And you just want to push in and just lift the hips and feel that lovely stretch up the front of the thighs into the hip flexors. If it's comfortable, you can take your head back. Not for me today. And exhale, coming down. Bringing yourself up. Just take a nice couple of breaths. And let's do one more round. So just coming back. And again, if your knees need to go wider, if your knees come off, doesn't matter. We just want this lovely stretch up here, to be honest. As long as you don't feel any pain in your knees, you shouldn't feel any pain yet. Lifting the hips. And again, just keeping those arms as straight as possible. Last big inhale, and as you exhale, just coming back to seated. And just grab your pillow if you've got one. Or you can use a block. And just come, putting your knees on your pillow. Just bring your hands to your lap. And just lower the eye gaze. And let the breath settle. At any time, if you feel any discomfort in your ankles, just remove the pillow. Come forward. One more lovely long inhale through the nose, filling the lungs, and exhaling, just gently blinking the eyes open if you had them closed, and just moving that prop out of the way, and then just taking ourselves onto all fours, just even pushing up into a nice easy downward facing dog. And just really stretching off those ankles in the opposite direction. That was a nice stretch there. So just go organically where your body feels it could go, it should go. Oh, and make any kind of noise you need to. Oh. And then just bring yourself down to seated. And just bring yourself down onto your mat. We're going to do a nice butterfly pose now. So you just want to take your legs long in front of you, and then you just want to encourage the soles of your feet to come together. So you should have a nice diamond shape in front of your body. Now, if in doing so, we're going to move forward, but if in doing this you feel a wee bit tight on your hamstrings, then grab your blocks and you can support your thighs. It may well be that your inner thighs or your groin starts to speak to you too, so that's another good reason to just get a bit of support. So sometimes even the pillow's quite nice in that regard as well. We are going to move forward, so if you find, and this is especially for someone like me who sits for a living, sometimes it's very easy to get into this slump, which is why we really want to do this stretch and open out these hips, because these are going to be very short in here. Then when we're coming forward, we want to come forward tipping from the hip. If we start to do this, we're going to put strain on our lower back muscles. So a good idea would be to grab a block, or maybe even just sit on the edge of your cushion, and just having the hips just that little bit higher already creates that little mini tilt forward anyway. So grab whatever props you need, find your shape, get yourself that lovely sweet spot in between comfort and discomfort, and just take your hands to your knees. And we're just going to take a couple of circles, so really going from taking your body towards the left knee, then forward, and then to the right knee, and back, and then one more time. And then maybe a couple of circles in the opposite direction. Just giving us a little feel for where we're going. And maybe we have to readjust. And make any adjustments necessary. I'm going to grab my block here. I've got a funny feeling I want to put my head on it. And then just bring yourself forward. Arms can be anywhere that's comfortable, as long as we're feeling that lovely stretch in the inner thigh and the groin. And maybe a nice long stretch in the spine. Relaxing the shoulders. Relaxing the jaw. And just letting go. Letting go of your day. letting go of any niggles. Letting go of any chatter. Taking one more big inhale. Feeling the back expand. And as you exhale, just walking the hands towards the body. And then just gently taking your hands either side of the thighs and just encouraging them slowly, slowly, slowly together until your feet rest on the mat. And then you can just walk your hands back to just come onto your elbows. And you can take your feet maybe mat width apart, maybe wider. And just windshield wiper the legs. Oh, that feels nice. And if you want to take them to one side and just stop, maybe even tuck that tailbone under, and you can feel that extra stretch up the thigh bone, up the thigh. And to the other side, and again, just tucking the tailbone under. And you can just go with your breath. And then when you're ready, just take the legs long and lie on your back. Maybe have a block handy. And just take your left foot in towards your bottom and your right foot in towards your bottom. Knees facing the ceiling, facing the sky. Grabbing a block or some books, whatever your prop is, and just gently lifting the hips towards the sky. And just hold for a couple of breaths, feeling that lovely stretch at the front of the thighs. Into the hips. And then just slide your block underneath your sacrum. So when you come down, now everybody's anatomy is different, but for me it's roughly the top of the block is roughly just below the top of my trousers, but I suppose it depends if you're wearing Simon Cowell breeks or not. But so just adjust, you're just sort of sitting at in your bum bone. And this might be comfortable enough for you. If you want a little extra, you can take the right foot towards the right corner, but only if your foot can hit the floor. If it's not, feel free to support it on something, or just bring it back far enough that you can rest the foot on the mat. If you want to put it on a block or a book or something, you can do that too. But you can just keep it here, so you decide. And then take the other leg out to the opposite corner. That might be just fine. Or if you want to take each hand to the opposite corner. Again, if your shoulders are coming off, if it's feeling a bit uncomfortable, you can put a cushion down and lie on a cushion. And just relax. And this time as you inhale, just feel the chest fill and open. Oh, it's lovely.
letting the legs become heavy, the arms become heavy. Excuse me. Relaxing the jaw. 3 more breaths. And just bringing the left foot in towards the bottom and the right foot in towards the bottom, very slowly. Bringing the hands up and over like a Mexican waves finishing. And then very, very gently and super, super slow, just lifting the hips towards the sky. Oh, that's so nice. And if you can, just slip any prop, block out of the way. And then slowly and surely, one by one, vertebrae by vertebrae, just bringing each one down onto the mat. Top of the back, middle of the back, and finally the lower back. And then gently, if you want, just bring the knees into the chest and give them a hug, or you can go from side to side. Or I quite like just to take my hands on my knees and just do a couple of circles in clockwise direction and a couple in an anti-clockwise direction. It just feels like a nice massage. And then when you're ready, it's time for your Shavasana. So take the right leg along, heel off the floor, and just push the ankle away, the heel away, and the toe towards the knee. And then just gently place that foot down in the corner of your mat. Pushing the left heel away, toes towards the knee, and then placing the left foot down onto the mat. And just take your hands and place them clasped behind your head again. And this time just pull the hands towards the top of your head. It's almost like you're pulling the skin away. And then just gently let your head rest onto the mat. Bringing your hands down by your side, palms facing up. And just coming to your Shavasana. Taking a big inhale through the nose.
And exhaling through the mouth. Just exhaling away any tension. And just take one more big inhale through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. Just letting the body soften. With each and every exhalation as you let go. She let go. She let go without a thought or a word. She let go. She let go of fear. She let go of the judgments. She let go of the confluence of opinions swarming around her head. She let go of the committee of indecision within her. She let go of all the right reasons. Wholly and completely, without hesitation or worry, she just let go. She didn't ask anyone for advice. She didn't read a book on how to let go. She didn't search the scriptures. She just let go. She let go of all the memories that held her back. She let go of all the anxiety that kept her from moving forward. She let go of the planning and all of the calculations about how to do it just right. She didn't promise to let go. She didn't journal about it. She didn't write the projected date in her day timer. She made no public announcement and put no ad in the paper. She didn't check the weather report or read her daily horoscope. She just let go. She didn't analyse whether she should let go. She didn't call her friends to discuss the matter. She didn't do a 5-step spiritual mind treatment. She didn't call the prayer line. She didn't utter one word. She just let go. No one was around when it happened. There was no applause or congratulations. No one thanked her or praised her. No one noticed a thing. Like a leaf falling from a tree, she just let go. There was no effort. There was no struggle. It wasn't good and it wasn't bad. It was what it was, and it is just that. In the space of letting go, she let it all be. A small smile came over her face. A light breeze blew through her, and the sun and the moon shone forevermore. Slowly bring some awareness back to your body. A wiggle of the fingers, a wiggle of the toes. Maybe move your head from one side to the other. And if you like a nice long stretch, take your hands overhead and point the toes before bringing your left foot in towards your bottom and your right foot in towards your bottom, and slowly bringing the knees towards the chest, giving yourself a nice hug. And then you can gently rock on to your right hand side, resting your head on your arms for a couple of breaths. And when you're ready, you can bring yourself up to a nice comfortable seated position. Spine tall, maybe a little taller with the extra space you've created. Just noticing how you feel after your practice, and carrying this peaceful energy with you for the rest of your day. Bring your hands together, thumbs to forehead for good thoughts and kind thoughts, to your mouth for good words and kind words, and to your heart for love and kindness for yourself and for others. On your next exhale, just gently blink your eyes open. Om Shanti. Thank you so much for inviting me to yours, and thank you for coming around to mine for yin practice today. Namaste.